Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. I'm Ryan Zolik, and this is Brandon. So we're filling in for Jason Schultz once again for another week as he's out on the gridiron watching some JV football. His son playing again tonight on a beautiful fall evening here in southwest Wisconsin. Glad to have everyone along as we get things going for another week, a big week for everyone here at Richland Center as it's a hybrid redneck week. As things start to come together, a lot of time coming into this event as Churnin' Dirt got rained out, and so everything is going into this event here. And we have Jason's pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, we have over $20,000 in purse money going out. So, yeah. And then we've got a lot of great sponsors that chipped in. Even if they didn't chip in cash, they chipped in prizes. Stop fire extinguishers, Stroud safety equipment. It's going to be a good show, and bring the kids. They're doing a meet and greet with the monster truck drivers from 11 to 1, I believe.
Yeah, so we'll do a rundown of all the events coming up a little bit later in the show. There was a couple local polls. I didn't get to any polls this weekend. Kind of took it off. We had a Center Color Fest here at Richland Center, and some alumni and Brewfest things going on. We're going to call Chris Clark. He's actually stuck out in the cornfields as they're chopping tonight, trying to get as much done today. He went down to Dickeyville for the first annual Rock Cut Blowout, and you made it up to Retreat for a while on Saturday.
Yeah, the Retreat World's Fair.
Yes. Did you make it over to Ithaca on Sunday?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I was a little tired.
Yeah, I bet.
It was the Ithaca Fair was Saturday, so
yes,
we were down at the pump house and might have had a few too many drinks in Ithaca on Saturday night. So
I'm sure you weren't the only one on, especially homecoming weekend as well. So, I don't know if we want to start with your recap, and then I can give Chris a call, and we can chat about Dickeyville. And you can also talk about Retreat as well, what you got to see up there.
The Retreat videos are at the end of the video
yeah,
recap.
So you can go right into that.
So I didn't stay for the whole event. It was a pretty long one. It was a typical Wisconsin brush pull with 30 classes of whatever you could hook to the sled, and it was pretty interesting. So we'll go there. First in the video will be Cadiz, Ohio. My brother did this live video, Brock, and he did, I think, 4 live videos from there. It reached almost 1 million people between the videos. This was a charity event. Get it playing here. It was Pulling for a Cure. It's just an independent event, non-sanctioned. This is Driveline Carnage. This is the first puller just got on the rope. You see, he started hopping right about 270.
This is Superstar.
You'll see a theme with that. Can't see, it's kind of small for us.
So we don't have the full size picture.
That's a 3.6 truck, I believe. The class was called 8,000 pound open. If it was a truck and it weighed 8,000 pounds, gas, diesel, doesn't matter. That's the winning pull right there. That's embarrassing. That was the winning pull. I believe at 318. You see, he started hopping at 272. This is that's a modified gas truck that pulled 8,000 pounds. This is a street truck that pulled.
Oh, and there's another
one. He was driving home with front wheel drive only.
Another driver.
You might have heard it on the video. It's pretty loud. This is Jesse Warren. If you ever wondered what would happen, say that, hey, let's take the turbo off the Remedy and put it on a 6.0 Power Stroke, that's what you get right there. He decided to try a 4.1 liter Pro Turbo on 6.0. Right there, that's Sean Hodges. If you notice, he was smart and he let off at 270. Just kind of coasted the rest of the way after seeing the first truck. Out of Rudy's. Yeah. Just to show you the difference between the trucks and tractors, here's Matt Durbin in the sidewinder. You'll notice he didn't hop nearly as bad. The trucks are built to be rigid.
Yeah, that's the advantage of those tall, wide tires in the back.
Here's one. And I played
You saw it here.
backwards and slow motion. Snap both driver's sides. It's not a 4-9, it's just I played it backwards so my brother was talking backwards. This is Zano Shirk from Retail Picture. Completely destroyed the rear end of that truck.
Oh my goodness.
This is Retreat World's Fair in Retreat, Wisconsin. Guy Nelson's truck, but it was Eric driving it, took first place in the light limited pro stock trucks, which you would call 2.6 3.0 combined. Took it all the way up the hill.
Well, they're all like that.
This is Ray J with the smoking white knight. He won the 2.5 class. Beautiful truck. He did a open stock gas trucks. This is Eric. Say that right. He won that. Beat out a couple of
That's probably the best I've seen that track. And I'm sure the rain probably helped because normally it's a scenic track.
Too hot the farms, Adam Moore taking the win. Adam's made difficult to pass this time. Got it figured out. Leading drivers. I played that double speed.
Yeah,
This is Star Nelson. Also. That's all I had from Retreat's World Fair. There was a lot more classes. There was a lot of farm stock classes, and they didn't limit them to pulling once. So if I did a video, it would be all the same people pulling over again.
Yeah,
So,
that's you kind of get that when those types of polls. But,
Yeah. That's
those
a
types
big
of polls
deal.
get to show off the local pullers.
I'll bet that there was probably close to 1,000 people there. And Retreat, I wouldn't call Retreat, Wisconsin a town. There's maybe 12 houses in it, and they do a two-way parade. They drive their tractors through town, I guess you would call it, and then back, and then they do that. And I had my fill on homemade pie, that was for sure. The food was awesome there. It was a good time. A lot of you drive there and you wonder, where did all these people come from?
Yeah,
Because it is absolute. I've been to some polls this year that were in the middle of nowhere, and that Retreat is 20 miles from anywhere.
Yeah, it probably will put any brush pull on the map if you're trying to get lost in Southwest Wisconsin.
Yeah. And half the roads were closed getting from here to there from the flooding. I just went around the road, closed signs, and I didn't have any trouble. I just ignored them. But it's definitely a good time.
We'll give Chris here a call, and he can give us a quick chat on Dickeyville as their first annual blowout, rock cut blowout. Hey Chris, we'll get you set up here, and we can get you chatting about Dickeyville. Just hold on one moment. Okay, Chris, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, Chris, we have Chris Clark on the line. He was here with us last week. Couldn't make it in with they're chopping out in the fields. So you got a chance to go down to the first annual blowout cutout and let everyone know how that went.
Yeah, thanks for having me on via phone. Can't make it down live in studio this week. I out in the cornfield tonight, late into the night, doing a test plot, but hope to be back in the studio next weekend and next Monday night. And yeah, this last Saturday night down in Dickeyville for the first ever tractor pull there in the new facilities. And I sent down a picture. Did you get that picture, Ryan?
Yeah, I did get that picture. I'll bring that up here for them so they can see it.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. That the facilities, it was a cornfield 3 weeks before the tractor pull in Dickeyville. New owners to the property, and they decided to turn it into like basically a motorsports complex for the future in Dickeyville. And it was a cornfield 3 weeks ago, and the boys went to work and cut out the hill and put in a pulling track and put in a nice retaining wall, and then put the bleachers up on top, which is kind of a unique setup in Dickeyville, where the track is 20 or so feet lower below you than where you sit in the grandstand. Kind of a little unique setup, and the owner owns around 30 acres, and the plans for the future there look pretty promising there, Ryan.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a great facility there. I wish I could have made it down. Just had some events going on at Richland Center, and what I seen on pull-off is everyone had a great time despite the weather and despite the Badgers' loss, but they still seem like they got quite a few hooks in, and it's going to just continue to grow down there in Dickeyville.
Yeah, it was a pretty unique track. The track just got finished up a couple days before the event. And if any of you out there listening have Brad Kutchin on Facebook, Brad with the Terminator sled, he put a picture on his Facebook page, and he said it was probably the softest track that he's ever bet on. They had two sleds, two tracks, and they had to push the sled back with a skid steer after every hook. The ground was pretty soft, and they had a little sprinkle in the afternoon, and they had to work that into the track, a little extra moisture. Made it really sticky, and it was kind of soft, being a brand new track. But hats off to all the track crew down there. They put in a lot of work to make that pull happen. Pushing the sled back every time. It was the drivers too had to select some different gears. It took a little extra effort to get out of the hole for some classes, but hats off to that track crew. Had to congratulate them, because they had the 6,200-pound super modified two-wheel drive trucks there, and they had a really good showing in that class. And the drivers did quite well. They, normally that light of a vehicle on a really soft track, it can be a tricky time, but they actually handled it pretty well.
Yeah, it's always tough when you have a new facility and trying to build a new track, and all the rain that we got here in southwest Wisconsin definitely did help that matters, but just looks like it's going to be a great facility for pulling, and I believe it's been quite a long time since they've had a pull in Dickeyville.
Yeah, I was talking to Terry Timmerman with a Hot and Nasty two-wheel drive truck, and he said that's where he got his start in pulling. They used to pull garden tractors in Dickeyville back in the 70s. The JCs, I believe it was, in Dickeyville, put on a garden tractor pull, and it grew up. They had mini rods back in the 70s and into the 80s, and then it's been a long time since they pulled then. But yeah, it was a pretty fun event. The plans for the future, Ryan, I talked to a little bit to the guy that owns it, and they would like to have some other events there as well, two or so truck and tractor pulls a year, and maybe have a rodeo come in, or maybe some kind of drag racing stuff on the dirt, or maybe some racing ATV type racing things, or just the future is kind of wide open right now for the Rock Cut place in Dickeyville. And for all of you guys listening, you can find out more information on Facebook. You can visit their page. It's called Rock Cut Events on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have a facility like that, you're definitely going to want to try and get a couple events throughout the year, and that's only going to help the small community of Dickeyville and attract a lot of different people. It's a great location because you're kind of right in the middle of the tri-state area between Illinois and Iowa and Wisconsin. There's a lot of pullers in that area, so it would just make for a great facility. And I know the Balls and all the volunteers that put that event on. We'll definitely have some great events coming up in the future.
Yeah, speaking of the Ball family, Jeff Ball there was kind of the head, I guess you could say the head promoter for the truck and tractor pull events that they're going to hold there. And what he was pretty kind of busy tonight, but what I'd like to do is for all of you listen, stay tuned for next week. I'd like to have Jeff Ball on. Of course, he's the driver of the Dr. Deere Super Farm from Lancaster, Wisconsin. I'd like to have him on here the next couple of weeks once the dust settles for the event, because I tell you what, Ryan, he was on his four-wheeler during the event. I bet he burned a whole tank of gas driving that thing around. He had a radio. His radio was going. His cell phone was ringing off the hook. He was running around a lot. It took a lot of effort and a lot of communication between a lot of people to make that pull go on. And I'd like to have him on here in the next week or two and have him talk a little bit about, from the promoter's side of things, what it takes to put on a pole for the very first time, and some things that he didn't maybe think about before the pole that come up during the pole, and things he had to adjust and change course a little bit, or things he maybe thought were going to happen that didn't. It's still neat, Ryan, that you think all the years truck and tractor pulling has been going on, and there's still events across the country that are brand new or get started every year. There's a lot of new events, and that's something we'd like to have Jeff Ball on in the future to talk about. Hey, he's a first-time tractor pull promoter. How did it go, and how can he help maybe somebody else that wants to listen in and that might hold an event for the first time?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he probably had about every type of obstacle to go over to get that pole going on Saturday, and especially with all the rain and probably all the work throughout the summer to get that facility ready for last Saturday, and bringing in a great crowd, and especially coming up with that great idea to have the tailgate during the Badger game as they took on the Michigan Wolverines, to bring in the people during the game, and just to battle Mother Nature. And I'm sure learned a lot for his first year, and probably this was his first time promoting. He's been a tractor puller for quite a long time, and just learned quite a bit from this first experience, and that's only going to carry over to next year.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be pretty interesting what they have in store. I kind of asked Jeff, for all of you listening, I said, what do you kind of see for the future of this thing? What are you thinking 5 years from now or something? He said, well, my ultimate goal is I really want to see the NTPA or the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League or both come in, either on the Silver Series region level or Grand National Champions Tour level someday there. So it's going to be one fan to watch that NTPA Grand National or the PPL Champions Tour schedule. You might see Dickeyville on there in the next in the years to come. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, I guess, Ryan.
Yeah, it's always when you have a puller that's putting on a poll, they're always going to try and make it bigger and better every year and try and bring in the best stuff, and they have their own connections with being a puller, and as we've seen here at Richland Center with Jason Schultz and how he's grown churning dirt in the 4 seasons of fun every year, and I'm sure that's only going to be the case for down in Dickeyville.
Yeah, that's no doubt about it. And I'm sure you've talked to some about the hybrid redneck rally already, or will during this show, but I got to put the plug in for anybody out there that's thinking about coming down to Richland Center next weekend. Definitely going to be a trip that's worthwhile to make the drive over, down, or across to Richland Center. I know I'm going to be there myself. I'm going to do some announcing from the track. The hope is we're going to have some pullers, Ryan, from really all across the Midwest and possibly from the east or maybe from the south. So it's going to be kind of a unique announcing experience. There's going to be two announcers. I believe they're from Michigan, Ryan.
Yep, that's correct.
And two announcers from Michigan will be in Richland Center, Wisconsin. They'll be up in the booth, kind of manning the booth, I guess you could say, and they're a really fun team to listen to, the announcing duo. And then I'm going to have a wireless mic, and you might even have a wireless mic, Ryan, down on the track, and we're going to talk to some of those pullers that travel hundreds of miles, come to Richland Center to try their hand at winning a pretty big first in all them classes next Saturday at Hybrid Redneck Rally.
Yeah, not only that, and then looking forward to, they have the monster trucks and then the Legend series. We got 3 Legend modifieds coming up from the state of Ohio that are in the National Tractor Pullers Hall of Fame down in Bowling Green. They're coming up to make some exhibition passes as well, so looking forward to that. And the weather going to be definitely a fall-like weekend, but looks like it's going to be dry. And definitely, if you're going to make plans to come up to the Hybrid Redneck Rally in Richland Center, bring a couple extra layers. But it's still going to be a great show, and the monster trucks, the mud racing, and the grass drags across the street.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a great day all around. Definitely come out and have some fun. That's for sure.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about here, Chris, real quick before we let you go? And are you still out in the cornfield?
Yeah, I am actually. We're working on a plot, and I think that's kind of all I was really thinking of this weekend. I hope to get back down in the studio here in the coming weeks, and yeah, I better head back over to the plot. I'm working with another one of my fellow competitors here. We're doing I believe there's like 28 different corn hybrids in this plot we're doing. I've been up here since around 11 morning, and we've been working on a few things, getting the combines ready, and it's been a pretty long afternoon here, but things are going good for all you farmers out there here in the field, where many of the hybrids are running from around 190 bushels an acre up to 230. Some pretty good yields. Moisture is kind of high. We're seeing moistures anywhere from 26 to 32. But all in all, things are pretty good from up here in Wisconsin. I guess I give a shout out too to all the farmers listening. I know probably some guys are going to be listening from the tractor cab in the coming weeks to the Let's Grow Pulling show, and wish all the best of luck to all the farmers out there that are listening. Good, Ryan.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for taking some time, and we'll let you get back to work out in the fields. And that's Chris Clark, he's an announcer on the Badger State Circuit, and right here helping us with Let's Grow Pulling, and he'll be out in the Hybrid Redneck Rally next weekend. So we'll talk to you later, Chris.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Okay, so that was Chris Clark here joining us on Let's Grow Pulling. We'll bring in Brandon back in, and we'll kind of go over the rundown for the Hybrid Redneck Rally and the schedule of events and many sponsors to thank to raise up those purses to quite a bit for the Hybrid Redneck Rally that you just don't really see throughout the polling season. So we'll start with the polling, and it'll be on track 1 starting out at 11 o'clock. We'll have the American Mini Pullers, and they're sponsored by the Midwest Supper Club.
Super Cub.
Oh, Super Cub.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, that's kind of.
I need my reading glasses.
If you need parts,
I'm
for
sure
your,
they're a big.
for your garden tractor puller.
Yeah.
They do it all. They can port. If you want to take your wife, say, hey, we're going to soup up a garden tractor. You can send your heads to them. They'll port and polish them.
Is that who Jason had on earlier? When we were on the Polling Radio Network, I don't know if he's different.
So. That was he had Randall Kessering.
Oh, okay.
But
and then on track 1 will be the American Mini Pullers at 11, and then at 2 o'clock the Tri-County Mini Rods, and of course our Let's Grow Pulling super fan Chuck will be I think finally got his mini rod back together for it.
If you want to see Chuck Hobbs live and in person, 2 o'clock, roundabout. They're sharing the track of.
Yeah, this is an estimated time for So that's going to be track 1. Those are going to be the smaller vehicles. And track 2 will feature all the bigger vehicles and the pulling at 11 o'clock. And it'll get underway with the 6,500-pound open stock 4x4 485 cubic inch gas trucks. And that'll be a shootout class where the payback right now is a $2,000 purse, $500 to win, and every puller will get a pull. Will get some of the payback.
The winner also gets packaged from Stroud Safety Gear and stock fire extinguisher, and RockAuto.com gift certificate.
Yeah, so we want to thank those guys for chipping in and coming on board with the Hybrid Redneck Rally this year. So that will get us going underway at 11 o'clock. Following that will be the Light Pro Shootout, 540 cubic inches. The 8,500-pound will be the PPL NTPA rules. So the first hook in this class will be at 8,500 pounds against the all-light Pro stock tractors, with the top half advancing on to the winner's bracket. Bottom half of the class will go to the consolation round. Then they will turn around in a second hook later in the afternoon at 9,000 pounds, where they will be together with the top half of the Limited Pro 4.1 tractors. And this is where payback will be $2,000 to win, and we're expecting a lot of tractors from across the Midwest to show up for this class.
Total purse is up to $7,000.
Yep, as of right now, of course, we want to thank our class sponsors, Lemke Motorsports, Saunders Oil, Olson Logging, Atlas Tractor, and of course...
Stroud Safety Gear.
Yep. I believe every winner in that class will be getting a gift from Stroud Safety Gear. So, again, thank you to all the class sponsors. And, of course, if you still want to jump on board, we're more than happy to get you on board with the Hybrid Redneck Rally and continue to add to these purses. So, following the two light and limited Pro Stock Tractor qualifying round will be the Limited Pro Diesel Trucks. This will be the PPL Rules 3.0 Smoothbore Shootout class. This is sponsored by the Midwest Forum's Mark Tomford, who drives the Addiction, who added $2,500 to this purse. We want to thank him, as well as Hazley Machine, Lemke Motorsports. The current payout for this class is $4,500. Every puller will receive some payback, and again, each truck will get a pull twice, as they will take the top half to the final bracket. Bottom half will move on to consolation round. Following the Limited Pro will be the Pro Stock Diesel Trucks. This is PPL Rules 3.6-inch turbo, as well as the cut tires will be allowed, and they will be paying 10 places back. Our class sponsors for this will be the Muscadet Mini Mart, Wisconsin Fleet Service of Elk Mound, Wisconsin, and Hazley Machine. Purse is raised to up to $2,250. First place taking home $600 as well. Then following that class will be the 6,200-pound Super Stock 530 cubic inch gas 4x4 trucks. Any questions about this can contact Matt Ingram. His number is 608-250-0133. Of course, all this can be found at hybridredneck.com. This is $1,500 purse, paying back 10 places, $500 to win. And winner will also receive a Stroud Safety Gear and a RockAuto.com gift certificate. And then are they going to run the Outlaw Diesel after the final rounds, or are they going to pull them in between?
I'm not sure. I think they're going to be the last class, but
yeah. So the last class of the night pulling, we think at this moment, will be the Outlaw Diesel truck class, which is the Midwest truck pullers rules. And any questions about this class can call Pete Shibby at 847-702-1284. Right now, the class purse paying back 10 places at $1,250. Class sponsors right now, Horsepower and Torque, and possibly a
Horsepower and Torque Possibility Dyno. That's what the dyno is called.
Oh, okay.
And Whirly Custom Fab is pitched in $250 for the purse. That's a pretty big purse for street legal diesel pickup trucks.
Yeah, especially what they run all year. Maybe get a couple $100.
Yeah, they might win $75.
Yeah,
so somebody's gonna walk away with 10 places at $1,250. What would that be? That would be $400 for first place.
Yeah, roughly about 400, 300 or 400.
So that ought to be a fun class. I mean, there's no teching under the hood. So if you're spraying nitrous or we've got 3 turbos, you can come and see what your truck's got. The main rule is no hanging weights. So if you get a 2.5 truck and take your weight bar off, and it's street licensed
Yep.
and insured,
And most of them are. So
you can.
I'm expecting a pretty big class
Yeah,
turnout for this.
I think we're gonna have half of the diesel trucks in southern Wisconsin here. So
Yeah, and you might even pull some from who knows where.
yeah.
And so that's the big lineup for polling. Of course, we have 4 monster trucks. They will be performing 2 or 3 times throughout the afternoon between 2 and 7.
Yeah, they're going to do a wheelie competition. They're going to do some freestyle and some donuts.
I think
course,
even
you
some
got the-
lap times too in
Yeah.
between there. So
Going to have like a tough. Believe Jason's got a tough truck challenge and a UTV challenge.
yeah, they had the Mud Bog events. That's gonna be out in the Mud Bog pit, which is on the eastern side of the fairgrounds, the southeastern side. That'll be beginning at 1 o'clock. They got the Mud Bog mud trucks. They'll have pro mod and blower classes out, as well as the tough trucks and UTV open to locals and professionals. So a lot of events going on the main fairground side, and of course across the street we'll have the ATV, snowmobile, and dirt bike grass drags. That will be beginning at 11 o'clock as well. Registration is from 8 until 10:30, and this is put on by the Mid-State Grass Drag Circuit. And if you have any questions, you can call Jim at 608-604-0957 or Willie at 608-697-7406. For ATV and dirt bike drags questions, call Rob at 608-212-0330.
Jim and Willie are 2 people. When you meet them, you don't quickly forget them. So but they, if you run the circuit in this area, you probably know who they are.
Yeah, so along with all this going on, we'll have bounce houses on the facility as well in the fairgrounds, helicopter rides throughout the day. That will be an additional charge to the low admission price of $10, which includes all events throughout the grounds. Kids 12 and under are free. I mean, for everything that's going on, you really can't get anything cheaper for the amount of money.
You can't even take all of it in. You kind of got to pick what you want to go to.
There is a little bit of everything.
Wear
for
your
anyone.
tennis shoes, because you'll do some walking. It's a challenge for me when I take my camera to try and get pictures of everything.
Yeah.
So it's
You almost, if you just wanted to see everything, is to get on that helicopter and just to take it all in at once. That's about the only way possible.
Or a drone, maybe.
Or definitely a drone. So, of course, all this can be found again at hybridredneck.com for all the rules and any questions and contacts, as well as to see all our wonderful sponsors for the event. Again, got to thank them. Stopfire, Atlas Tractor, RockAuto.com, Hazley Machine, Midwest Forms, and Mark Tonford, Whirly Customs, Fab and Diesel, Lemke Motorsports, Saunders Oil, and the Muscadet Mini Mart. And, of course, just looking forward to a great day. Again, weather going to be a bit on the cooler side, but it's definitely going to be a fall-like day here in Richland Center. That's the current forecast. The weather on the drier side, so we're definitely looking forward to a great day. Pulling, drag racing, mud bogging, monster trucks, and I believe that there's actually going to be a pedal pull too, I would assume.
Yeah, there's a pedal pull. I think Levi puts that on.
Yeah, the Kinchke pedal pullers, they bring their equipment over. Now that's normally behind the grandstand, so a little bit of everything for all ages, and just looking forward to a great day of action here at Richland Center.
Also Saturday, Columbiana, Ohio, Lisbon, Ohio area, Night of Mayhem. It's to benefit Make-A-Wish. Justin Garwood, that has the Goat on a Rope super stock truck that was in the video earlier, he's really organizing this. And they're going to have the combo super stock pro stock tractors, which, if you've never seen, is pretty interesting. They weight handicap super stock tractors versus pro stocks. The classic super stock tractors, which is a class that's unique to Ohio. It's tractors that are built 1970 and before. They run a 3.18-inch turbocharger, and they really get some ground speed up. They're a great class. They're going to have big rig semis, invitational. They're going to do the open 8,000-pound trucks, like we seen in the video earlier with all the carnage. They're going to do that. That track in Lisbon is very, very good. So I don't anticipate having those kinds of problems. And they're doing the combo 2.6, 3.0 diesel truck class, which I'll almost guarantee there'll be 20 to 25 trucks in that class. It's to benefit Make-A-Wish. It's Saturday, October 8th, 6 p.m., Columbiana County Fairgrounds in Lisbon, Ohio. Pretty easy to get to, about, 25 minutes south of Youngstown maybe. And not far from Pittsburgh or Cleveland or anywhere over that way, but it's a good cause. We would rather you drive 10 hours to Wisconsin, but realistically that's not going to happen. So
either way, you're going to be giving the
Justin's
charity.
a great guy, and he's really worked hard at this event, so we're going to give him a shout out. My brother will be there doing live videos. So cell reception's good there, if I remember correctly. But that's a great cause, and then we've got Rudy's Truck Jam on Saturday too.
Yeah, so a busy weekend for diesel pulling wherever you are across the country. If you're down in the south, you got Rudy's. If you're up towards the Ohio, Pennsylvania, maybe eastern Kentucky area as well, you might be shooting up there for the Make-A-Wish pull there, or you might be making your way up to Wisconsin for the Hybrid Redneck Rally.
Got Rudy's Truck Jam. I found it. All right, Julian, North Carolina. It's Friday and Saturday. They will have the Champions Tour Superstock diesel trucks. So you'll get to see our hero, Shane Kellogg, be down there, and Cody Hastings, the whole crew. They'll have the Air Dog Pro Stock 3.6 trucks, the Silver Series, and the Wagler Competition Limited Pro 3.0 diesel trucks. And it's quite the event. My brother went last year. I didn't get to go. You'll see the interstate the whole way south. You'll just see diesel trucks. You'll be passing them on the highway. It's quite the event if you're down south. We get a lot of complaints. Well, I'm in North Carolina or South Carolina or Tennessee, and there's no. Drive over to Julian, North Carolina, and then in November you can look up Diesels and Dark Corners. It's down in Georgia. I'll find the exact date of that. Diesels and Dark Corners. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're down in the south, it's pretty much pulling. Mainly antiques once you get in the winter time. But if you do want to check out pulling, especially in the Florida area, they do a lot of pulling throughout the winter months, and then they're normally one of the first areas to have pulling in the springtime. Of course, Saluda normally kicks off now. The PPL circuit, and then you have the Glot Motorsports and their new facility kicking off the NTPA circuit now. So a lot of pulling moving its way out east in that southeastern area, which is a good thing for everyone.
All right. Saturday, November 5th. Diesels and Dark Corners. This is in White Plains, Georgia. It's all diesel trucks. Pure Street, Workstock, 2.5, 3.0, 3.6 in Superstock. $30,000 in payouts. So that's Saturday, November 5th at 9 a.m.
And I believe diesel trucks is like the main classes, like that's where the big purses are.
Yeah, that's all there is. It's just a big diesel truck party. It's kind of like Rudy's. They have dynos, show and shine, the pole, $20 a person, $10 for the military ID. We got a lot of videos sent to us last year from that, and it looked like quite the party down there. So, let's see. At the same place, they're also having a pull October 22nd. So that in White Plains. Not sure the classes here. It's antiques at 3 o'clock and then diesel trucks at 7. And hot farm tractors, V8 tractors. So White Plains, Georgia is like, the only place we get advertisements from for truck pulls in Georgia.
Yeah.
So look it up. Their Facebook page is Liberty Truck and Tractor Pulls. So that's coming up. That's the next event. The North Carolina State Fair, I believe, is
Yeah, that's
the
sometime.
one we've got. I've got 20 messages on Beer Money asking us if we're going to be at the North Carolina State Fair. We are not.
No.
We have real jobs, fortunately, and it's harvest season in Wisconsin. So that is not this weekend, the following weekend. There's truck and tractor pulls there also.
I believe they have 2 sessions and normally like 2 tracks. I believe it's like a regional. They used to have, I don't know if it's still NTPA regional out there for region, I'm going to say 2. No, not region 2. Region 6, I believe.
All right. Trying to find KTPA. I think they're still pulling. They pull late into the year.
Yeah,
too.
and I believe they have a cancer benefit pull this weekend, or if it was last weekend. I'm not for sure. It was on Pull Off. It was in Elizabethtown, possibly. Seen some things for that.
That's this Friday.
Yep, okay.
October 7th, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Burger King Breast Cancer Awareness.
And I believe that's normally a big pull for them as well as might even round out their season.
There's
there.
one after that, but
Oh, okay.
let me see if I can get rid of this thing that's in my way here. There we go.
First world issues.
Yeah. Elizabethtown, Kentucky, October 7th. And then Temple Hill, Kentucky, Fall Brawl. It'd be October 15th.
That rounds out the KTPA
That
schedule.
rounds out the KTPA schedule if you're down in Kentucky. Those are the guys that come up here and pull with us, right? In the summer.
Yep, every once in a while the light limiteds will come up here and pull with the South Central and the WTPA guys with the light limited super stocks running at 6250. They came up for the Cheese City Challenge as well as the North South 300. And then a couple of the Spiegelberg tractors will go down there a couple times throughout the summer as well. And I believe they go down there for the indoor pull in March or somewhere around that time.
So we're looking at trying to help our fans out down south more. I know we get at least 10 messages a week on Beer Money. I live in Kentucky or Tennessee or Georgia or Alabama, and I need to know where to go to a truck pull. Few messages. I try to get back to everybody, but it's hard. We get some days we get so many messages, and we have ridiculously hot girls messaging us. Well, do you want to chat with me? Blah blah blah. Spam messages, and it takes a while to weed them out. But we try to get back to everybody. We're also looking for sponsors for the Beer Money pulling team. We would like to get a national sponsor. That way we could go more places and do more things. I would love to be able to go to Canada and hit some pulls up there, spend some weekends. I'd like to go to Utah for United Pullers. There's I've seen every organization in Wisconsin about 3 times this summer, so next summer I'm going to be looking to get out. But I'm just an average blue collar Joe, and we would like some sponsors to get a hold of us to help pay for what we do, because Jason's pocket is limited. You know, we're all just average Joes that work day jobs.
Now he'll be trying to sell houses to everybody.
Yeah.
So
if you need a mortgage or a refi, you contact Jason. So that will help us do more tractor pulling too. So
just a quick recap here. Go to hybridredneck.com to find all the information about this Saturday. If you're planning on attending here at Richland Center, we have a great day of events, pulling monster trucks, mud bog racing, grass drags, pedal pulling, bounce houses, mini rod pulling, garden tractor pulling, helicopter rides, and again, just $10 for all-day admission to all the events throughout the Richland County Fairgrounds. The only additional charge would be if you want to go up in the helicopter and see the views of southwest Wisconsin, and if you're new to the area or planning on coming up, the leaves are going to be changing here soon, so a helicopter ride would probably be a great thing to see all the leaves changing here in southwest Wisconsin.
This is a very interesting part of the country, driftless Wisconsin. You go from being in the mountains to 2 miles away, flat farm fields, and then back into there's hills that look like they don't belong there, and it's a really beautiful area.
Yeah. So again,
Cost
hybrid
for pullers at the gate, Chuck. Everyone, pullers, spectators, no matter who you are, you
No-
pay $10.
Yeah, no entry fee though.
There's no hook fee. You just pay
Yep.
the $10 to get in.
Yeah.
So
Again,
that's-
all the
that is
money
your
is going
hook
to
fee.
charity.
And for most of the pullers, that is the cheapest hook fee
Yeah.
they will ever pay in their life. So
Yes. Yeah, and again, all the money is going to local charities here in the Richland County area, and we're just trying to make up for some losses that we had over the summer with not being able to really hold Churn and Dirt and all the great lineup of pulling we had there, and just hoping for a great day and a great turnout. So if you're going to be in the area, and yep, that's $10 per person.
yeah, per person.
So again, that $10 for an all day, for what you're gonna get. You could pay $10 just for one event each. So if you were going to a single event, that's what you just paid. Maybe go
Yeah,
see the
you
mud
would-
bogs or the grass drags or just a pulling event. So
Yeah, I've been to mud drags before where you paid $15
Yeah.
just to see that.
some maybe
So-
be 25. I
Yeah.
haven't been to a mud drag. Just a single mud drag that are put on like by the central mud drags that we see coming here, and especially the horsepower. I believe they've had in the past some come up from Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to get that if they're still coming up, but
My parents bought their house off of one of those guys. Has the nitro.
Okay.
Fully blown. Eddie's chatting with us. Shout out to Eddie. He's one of our Beer Money admins. Does a lot of does some live videos and stuff. He follows the OSTPA around, and the NTPA was Ohio Region 2.
yep, Region 2.
We're gonna work on getting him a actual press pass next year, so he doesn't have to sit beside a bunch of smelly people at county fairs. So, shout out to Eddie and to my brother for doing live videos. I'm trying to be easy on my data because we share data, and I know he had to burn through 10 gigs last weekend. So,
Yeah, doing the live
so
videos.
live videos kills your phone battery and it kills your data
Yeah.
in a hurry. And Brock actually has a tripod for his phone, and he sets it on there, and he has a jump pack for a car that he plugs it into just to keep it charged. Chuck gives us live feeds too. He's our official mini rod representative for Beer Money Pulling.
and he is the super fan of Let's Grow Pulling.
There's a bunch of other editors that I have no clue. Honestly, I don't know who they are, but mainly myself and Brock and Eddie are doing about 95% of what you see. So
Yeah, so
shout out to those guys.
So we'll just wrap it up here. HybridRedneck.com. A lot of work's going to be going on throughout the week to get the fairgrounds ready. A lot of entertainment for a very low cost. Again, HybridRedneck.com for all the information. $10 per person. Kids 12 and under are free, and really can't think of a better way to round out the pulling season and or even just the pulling and entertainment season for monster trucks and mud bogging.
Yeah, I don't think that they've ever had a monster truck show like that in Wisconsin that I've seen. It's
Not in a while, at least not in a very long time.
they were big back in the 80s, and
Yeah.
when I was a kid in Pennsylvania and Ohio, you'd go see them indoors, TNT Motorsports. And,
We still have the indoor. Actually, Madison does
Chuck,
have an
you're
indoor.
over 12,
so
you don't get in for free.
Yeah.
So,
we know what you look like.
so let's see, we're coming up on 8 o'clock. That means Kenny will be on at 8, shortly after 8.
Yeah, so check him out. Pullcast Live, the Pulling Radio Network.
There's I haven't met Jeff Swank yet, but he does a show on Sunday nights where he interviews the good website swankonsports.com. He interviews a lot of Grand National pullers. There's Diesel Performance Podcast is huge. Danny
Yeah,
Voss.
I want to check that out. I haven't got a chance to.
I got to meet Danny and Rich is their their media relations guy for Calibrated Power Solutions down there. I got to meet them at Paw Paw, and they're great guys. I listened to bits and pieces of one show, but that's on my winter list. Things to do in the winter is to check those guys out. Everything you wanted to know in the world of diesel engines, these guys got it. So we're trying to find ways to keep people interested in pulling all year round, and that's the big thing. And there's all these, you've got us goofing around in Jason's basement on Monday night.
Hopefully, eventually we'll work our way up to the top
We're trying to
floor.
work our way up into the dining room that's being converted into a studio. It'll be quieter up there with better lighting.
A better sound too.
No washing machine.
Yeah.
So we're working on some things. I've got 100 ideas in my head of things to do. It's just a matter of
Yeah, we just have to.
a lot of things. Like I said, with
Especially
the
after this week,
sponsorship,
once it gets quiet, the dust settles after this week, it'll be a lot easier to plan those things.
We've got a lot. I have a ton of ideas of how to promote the sport in my head, but that's one reason we're looking for sponsors. A lot of things take money to make work, so I'm just a Joe that works in the butter plant.
Yeah.
so we're looking at some big things for next season. We're gonna try and spread the remedy out further across the Midwest here and get more people a chance to see it. And since we're the reigning champions of Badger State, that gives us some major street cred.
Who knows? They might even be making an appearance down at the National Farm Machinery Show, so we'll be crossing our fingers there. Hopefully, they'll get invited down for the first time for limited pro stocks. So that'll be a big achievement for the Remedy and the Beer Money polling team, and I don't think they know what hit them.
Yeah. We can. Half the trailer will be full of Busch Light on the way down there, and it'll come back empty. So, Busch Light's the official beer of Southwest Wisconsin.
Pretty much, you can find it at any poll for the most part. There's
I've seen up at Oshkosh, if you remember that. I think the beer that people hauled in, the pullers hauled in, weighed more than their pulling vehicles. That was
probably. I mean, that's about.
Never mind the big no alcohol sign on
Yeah.
at the pit gate. That didn't apply to Badger State tractor pullers. So
No.
that only applied to the pit crews for the race cars. So we know how to have fun in Wisconsin. And that's one reason I moved here. So we can take the Wisconsin party all over the Midwest. That would be great.
So yeah, I think as we close into the 8 o'clock hour, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Let's Grow Polling once again. I want to thank Chris for taking some time, and of course, good luck to all the farmers out in the fields as they continue to harvest here, wherever you are. Hopefully the weather stays dry and they can get the corn chopped in the fields or the beans, and a lot of activity going around. No excuse for Badger fans this week. Badgers have off, so come on down. Check us out at the Richland County Fairgrounds.
Then October 15th, the Badgers play Ohio State, which
Yeah.
is
So
I'm the only Ohio State Buckeyes fan in the state of Wisconsin. So
there might be a couple others.
there might be a few, but
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're like mosquitoes.
yeah. So I'm gonna be out. I'm sure I'm gonna have a few beers on that day. So we were thinking about going to Madison to watch the game. So not in person because I heard the tickets are not affordable.
Yeah,
by any
no.
means, so.
If you're just the average person, it's probably about a week's paycheck.
Yeah, about a week's paycheck. So yeah, it's cheaper to buy Packers tickets off of the scalper.
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting to that point where the Badgers are almost, they compete right there with Packer tickets. So, but again, Hybrid Redneck Rally or hybridredneck.com. Check us out as all the information for pricing, polling lineups, the grass drags, any contact information. Just continue to pass the word. We continue to prep the fairgrounds. So again, for Chris, for Brandon, and for Jason filling in, I'm Ryan Zolik. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Monday night on Let's Grow Polling.